Hey everyone, Rob J here, and today I'm going to talk about Astyanax for the NES. That's right, Astyanax. Gotta say it a couple times to get it right. It just rolls right off the tongue. Now, Astyanax was an arcade game first, then it got ported to the NES. While both games have similar gameplay, the plot between the two games are completely different. In the arcade game, there's a demon overlord who has caused fear and terror into the land, and you're out to defeat him. In the NES version, you're this high school kid who's 16 years old, and you keep having these dreams of a princess calling out to you. And one day, as you're walking to high school, you get transported to this dimension that she's in, and you're out to save her with your cool axe and your armor, and you're badass. And you also have a companion named Cutie the Fairy. Now, she comes and goes throughout the storyline, and she actually sacrifices herself later in the story to save you so you can save the princess. But I'll get into that later. Let's talk about the game. Now, Astyanax has a power gauge and a magic gauge. Your power gauge dictates how much damage you do on a basic attack. Now, you can repeatedly attack with your basic attack, or you can wait until your gauge is full and then do one devastating basic attack. To each their own. You can just wait for it to go to the very top, or you can just, spam your attack. It's up to you. And you have your magic gauge, which you have 3 spells to cast from. You have your fireball spell, which casts a fireball throughout the screen, like there's multiple fireballs. You have an electric spell, which clears every enemy on the screen, but that consumes the most amount of magic points. And you have a time freeze spell, which consumes the least amount of magic points. Now, what I didn't know when I was playing the game is that the weapon you have dictates the amount of magic points you consume per spell you cast. So your axe, I think it's just default, X amount of magic points you cast, and your axe deals X amount of damage. When you have the spear, you deal less damage, but you consume less magic points when you cast a spell. When you have a sword, you deal a lot of damage as a basic attack. For your basic attack, there we go, but you consume more magic points when you cast a spell. So to me, it always seems better just to have the axe or the spear. Like, yes, down the road in the game, you want to have a sword because you deal more damage, but when you die, you lose your sword, then you go back to your spear. When you die having the spear, you go back to having your basic axe named Bash. So it's really up to you. And in terms of power-ups throughout the game, other than upgrading your weapon, you get to see Cutie the Fairy. And she only really appears, later on in the game. And, she gives you the option to upgrade your weapon to, she actually gives you the option to upgrade your weapon to having a spear or a sword. So that's kind of cool if you have a sword and you want to downgrade to a spear. You do have the option, I'm pretty sure. But you also have the option to refill your magic meter. And I always chose a magic meter. Why not cast more spells? You're always going to have your spells, but you can always lose your weapon. So, yeah, think about that. Philosophy. Anyways, I found the game to be, it's casual player friendly. And, the enemies aren't too difficult. Yeah, it gets a little bit difficult more down the road in the game, but that's pretty typical. It's got really large bosses, which are very creative, but I found one that was just absolutely terrifying. And if I was a kid playing this game, I would be like, what's that? The only way I can describe it would be a metal kangaroo with this demon head in its pouch. Yeah, that's the most I can describe it. I'm going to show you the clip of it too, so you can see what I'm talking about. I'm pretty sure it's a demon in a contraption, and that's what I'm thinking, but that's what it looks like to me at first. Anyways, when you defeat this metal contraption, you're left with this weird demon that flies around and shoots bubbles. So that was a pretty weird boss to face against. But the other bosses are they're tough, but I found them to be pretty creative. And you're also faced with these little mini bosses as well. And towards the end of the game, there's actually a mini boss gauntlet before you face the evil wizard. So that was, it kind of hones your skills there. So, and you can die a lot in this game. And you know what? That actually brings me to my next point. As I was saying that this game is casual player friendly, Let's say you die at level 4 and it's game over. Guess where you start? Level 4. I was like, this is an amazing game. It's a casual player-friendly game, and I would recommend it to anybody who loves action side-scrolling platformers. You're gonna love this game, and I'm pretty sure this game is dirt cheap too, because I didn't hear about it until I picked up this really awesome NES bundle where it had like 7 games and the system with controllers and a zapper, and you wouldn't believe how much I paid for it. $50 for the whole set, because I think the person was just trying to get rid of it. And I was going through the games, I'm like, oh, cool, Ninja Turtles and Dino Wars, and I'm like, what's this Astyanax thing? And I'm like, I played it, and I'm like, it's a really fun game. I'd recommend it to anybody, and it's easy to collect and find, and to put into your collection. But again, finding it fully boxed with a manual, that's rare. I'm finding boxed games for NES or for Super Nintendo are completely rare. But let's get back to the game. I believe I said that Cutie does play a major role in the plot, as at one point when you're at the castle, Cutie sacrifices herself to save you. Now, when you defeat this wizard and its dragon and everything, you're set back to your present modern day. And guess who's there? It's Cutie, not as a fairy, but as a human being. And you see off in the distance, Princess Rosebud is like, this is your gift for being so courageous. I was like, this story's kind of deep for an NES game. So I was like, that's pretty cool. And when I was playing the game too, I was like, when you see the end, I was like, okay, where's the credits at? Where's the credits? And I'm like, they're not coming. So the game can go on forever at the end screen. So you have to reset it. I don't know why they didn't want to add the credits. That was kind of weird. Like, the game is good. Why not, just say this is put your name on there. It's a great game. But anyways, I hope you enjoyed my casual rant review of how great this game is. It's casual player friendly, and it's a lot of fun. The only thing before I end this video is that you have to be precise with your strikes, because I found multiple times when I was attacking things, I was off by a bit, but I think that's typical with any action platformer, is that you have to time your strikes. I mean, yes, there are points where you can just kind of like spam your attack, but like other times when you're fighting difficult enemies, you're gonna have to time your strikes. And same with your jumps too, because there were some jumps where I was kind of like, okay, I'm gonna get that power up, but I hit another platform and I kind of dropped, and I was like, really? It's gonna pull that on me? So, time your jumps and time your attacks. But if you can get past that, it's pretty easy to master. Like, it took me like an hour to master like my attacks and jumps. You'll be fine. And I would, again, I keep saying this, but I highly recommend it to anybody who loves action side-scrolling platformers. Pick this game up, play it any way you can. You're going to enjoy it. Thank you so much for listening, and thank you so much for watching. And please, if you liked what you saw, you liked what you heard, like, comment, and subscribe. It helps out so much. I'm Rob J. Thank you so much for listening again and watching, and have a great day. Bye-bye. Thank you so much for watching, and remember, if you liked what you saw, please like, comment, and subscribe. I'm Rob J. Thank you for entering the Nova, and I'll see you next time. Take care.